slogan, I want you to pick the person that was going to get picked on. So give me a number from 1 to 40.
27.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. Henry!
Yes.
Okay, by the by, you all don't know this. Henry stepped up today because the person who's supposed to read the second reading could not make it, and we just found out like 2 seconds before we started the liturgy. Henry volunteered to proclaim the reading, and he did it as a cold reading. So thank him for what he did. And in the midst of that, also to recognize, because I know how difficult Old Testament readings are, maybe that was one of the best public readings of an Isaiah text I have heard, ever. Seriously, you proclaimed it beautifully. I want you to hear that from me, okay? But now let's pick on Henry. Well, not to pick on you, but look. You're a senior, you're about to enter into a new life. Up to now, describe for me what you would call an insanely busy day.
Well. Okay.
Now stand up so people can hear you, okay? Because there are people, remember, there are people behind you as well and above you, so you have to be loud.
All right, so waking up at 7 a.m., getting to school by 7:45, doing some homework right before school starts because I forgot about it. Going to classes all throughout the day, being told fifth period that I need to set up the entire sound system in the school's auditorium because they need it later that night, even though they didn't tell me the week beforehand. Setting it all up, realizing that I have to stay after school for like 4 hours to set it up and go to a rehearsal, and then learning that I also have to mix sound for the same event. That goes on for like another 5 hours. I'm getting home at about 9 or 10 o'clock at night.
Okay? And in that, where do you tell mom and dad you're doing all this extra stuff, or do they find out eventually after they're on?
If I have time in between, I just send a text.
And when do you eat?
I don't.
Okay. Show of hands. Insane day for Henry or not? All in favor? Raise your hand. Fair enough. Okay. We'll just get into one more perspective out of this. Okay, Henry, you get to pick somebody. Give me a number.
15.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Susan. A memory, go back.
How about yesterday?
You can talk about whatever you want. Give me an insanely busy day for you.
Okay. So I get up, and it's about 7 o'clock.
And you got to stand up because there are people up there who need to hear you. You don't have to come forward, but you need to
I
stand.
might as well do it.
Okay.
Okay.
We're not giving you extra work, though. That's all.
No.
Not making it busy.
Yesterday it's Saturday, and it should in theory be a relaxing day. But I wake up and I find myself in silent auction mode, feeling very ramped up and thinking there are a lot of people I need to contact and remind that I'm expecting some paperwork from them. And so I start going through my record and updating documents and emailing people and calling people. And I forget if this is really yesterday, but it feels like it. Then I got a call from Bill Deichler because I had asked him if he could come by and look at my broken door and another project I had. So he said, can I come by? And I said, well, I still have my pajamas on, but it's fine. I'll get changed real quick. And then I got another call from somebody who needed my input in planning double knee replacement surgery. So I was glad to give my medical advice. And Bill came and we spoke, and then I remembered my neighbor needed help, so I asked him if he could help my neighbor, so I sent him an email, and Rich called me, and we talked for an hour and a half on the phone about various projects we were working on. And then I remembered that I needed to get to St. Paul's by about 4 o'clock to greet some people from Therapeutic Horsemanship Program who are going to be the beneficiaries of our charity. So I realized, whoops, I have to go to the gym and I need to buy groceries. So I quickly went to the gym in Bedford Hills, worked out, went and bought groceries, came back, put it away, went to St. Paul's, got a chance to talk to Paul Bissonette about marketing for the silent auction. Turned out that people didn't come from Endeavor, so I came home, cooked dinner, ate dinner, watched a movie on TV, went to bed, and here I am.
So can I assume each of you in your own particular status in life has in the back of your mind you have experienced, quote unquote, one of those days? Busy, frenetic, things you plan to do. In my line of work, here's the kiss of death. Driving to the office saying, you know, I only have to see one person at 11 o'clock. There's nothing else on the schedule. The minute those words are uttered, for those of you studying the book of Job, the council of God gets together and Satan says, get him. So Jesus was having one of those days, all right? Give you context. Last week's scripture ends with Jesus healing someone who was sick, somebody who acted up in the midst of his being in synagogue, and he heals this person. And I'm not getting into discussion, demonic possession, mental illness, combination of both. That's not the important thing. The poor soul, she needed help. He heals her, and there's this astonishment, as you might think. So what does he do? He kind of escapes, and he goes with now the beginnings of people who are starting to follow him, by the names of Peter and Andrew, who are told are brothers. Peter's still being known as Simon. There's two other brothers, James and John. They go to Peter's house, where I guess it's not really his house because his mother-in-law is there. Okay, so it's probably her house. And she's sick. And you notice, any of you who followed the text, I didn't read it as the text was printed because there is no punctuation in the ancient world. So instead of reading the thing, they told him at once, period, he went and healed her. I read it, they told him, period, at once he went to heal her, because that's what makes sense. He heals her. And now the word gets out, because in small towns, you people don't know how to keep anything to yourself. All right? The word gets out, and now people are clamoring to see him. Whatever he intended to do, that day is gone. And they show up at the door. And I'm always thinking behind, because I remember the conversation I had with my mom many years ago. Yeah, betcha Peter's mother-in-law really was happy about all these people tramping on her lawn and showing up on her front door. I bet you that was really great. All these people who need him, need him, need him. Okay? All that being said, that's not what I'm preaching about, because that's just sort of the lead-in. The important thing, and to me, we need to hear, and I'm not saying you need to hear, we need to hear, all of us. Okay? In the course of our busyness, the most important part was right in the middle. Mark remembers the next morning, early in the morning, he gets up and he leaves everyone behind. He goes out to, our translation says, a deserted place. You want to impress people? There's a Greek word that's used there, eremos. We get the word hermit or hermit from that Greek word. Something isolated, alone. And he communes in prayer with his Father. And Peter comes running over to him and says, look, people are looking for you. They're looking for you. People spend a lot of time looking for Jesus. Guess what? You got to leave your busy world, and you got to find a deserted place. The message this morning is going to be very unpopular, but we got to hear it. There are many places we look for God in our lives, okay? But the one and most important place we don't want to go to, because maybe we're afraid of what we'll find when we get there, is going to a quiet place. How busy are you? I know you're busy. We're all busy. Our culture is frenetic. I once heard saying that the new way of defining Christ is God incarnate for a workaholic culture. He is the light for those who will burn the candle at both ends. But do we take the time, do we dare not take the time to get away from the craziness and make the time to be alone, to look into yourself and to speak with the one who will give you strength? See, there's a secret that most of us take a lifetime to learn, and that is, if you're still giving and giving and giving and giving of yourself, eventually you empty. Jesus himself knew that. Think of all the moments where the scriptures say he kind of just disappeared and went and prayed. He goes to a deserted place. He goes to the top of a hill. He teaches his followers, if you need to pray, this is what you ought to do. Father, who art in heaven, etc., etc. He prays in the garden before they arrest him, and he's praying for the people who are killing him from the cross itself. Prayer is a part of his life, private, quiet, in communion with the Father. So here's my Lenten challenge, because Lent begins in 10 days. Ash Wednesday is 10 days. I don't care what you give up. Don't tell me what you give up. Which, by the way, when did that ever become a thing? Why does everyone have to walk up to me when I'm wearing a collar and tell me during Lent, you know what I gave up for Lent? No, I don't know, and I don't care. Frankly, that's between you and God. But how about what we do? And how about doing something like this? Finding a few moments of quiet to recharge your battery. Finding a few moments of quiet, whether it's reading the scriptures, or quiet meditation, or quiet prayer, where you can leave people and others behind. The people who need you, yes, but for a few moments, for you to be refreshed. No matter how important you are, needed you are, it's something we all need to do for ourselves. The Lord himself knew this, and he did it. The question is, do we? Amen.